What's up, everybody? My name is Austin. So the reason I'm here trying to talk to you guys today is because I believe that I've identified a possible beginning to the solution, a beginning for us, the black people, the black and brown people, and the people who love us. I believe that that's a beginning to that solution is us identifying a powerful, educated, influential person, a leader, a group of people that work with that leader to guide us as one nation, one word, one power. We are in revolutionary times. We need a Malcolm X or a Martin Luther King to step up right now, to be that voice, to be that leader for our people. A house divided won't stand. The protests, yes, they are good. Yes, people need to see how angry we are, but we need to be one word, one power, one unified front. That is when we are at our strongest. That is when we are able to make the most change. A lot of you are probably thinking, who is this dude? Who's this light-skinned homie talking to me? I don't know him. Why would I listen to him? This is who I am. I come from the inner city of Columbus, Ohio. I come from struggle. I come from nothing. I come from a broken home. I come from, by the age of 7, seeing a black man get dumped in a dumpster behind my house. I come from, by the age of 7, walking my sister to my grandmother's house, see a man get gunned down in front of me and me having to jump on top of my sister. I've watched my mom call the police, my Caucasian mom call the police, and the police show up within 5 or 10 minutes. My black neighbors have called the police, and they haven't showed up for an hour, maybe even 2 hours. I come from an area where I grew up around nothing but poverty and struggle, prostitutes and crackheads outside. I come from an area where I hear gunshots every night. I grew up watching my mother after my mother and my father split. My mom, little white lady, $1.20, cutting grass to feed her children, going to the food bank, having to go to the welfare office. I understand having to heat up your bath water on the stove. I understand having to light candles because the electricity is off. I understand seeing people and their struggle all around me. And me being a mixed guy and still having a roof and food over my head. I've seen my neighbors not have food and come over my house to eat. I understand the struggle and I feel you guys and I feel your pain. I am right there with you because I love you. I love you guys so much. I want my people to prosper, not just become better. I want them to prosper. And we can do it together as one united front. We can do it. And this is why I brought my friend D-Fig here, because I believe that he can talk to the people who are not black and brown and they can better understand my point of view and how you can move as a non-black and brown person to help benefit us. Come on, D-Fig, come on over here, brother. So to further go along on my kind of rant and what I want to talk to you guys about is we need a united front. A house divided won't stand. A house divided will not stand. We are out. There's groups of people that have no direction, that are out just showing how angry they are, how annoyed they are with the system and what we've been through. And they don't have direction. Every great revolution, every great king, every conqueror, every person in a civilization was identified to be the leader, to be the person that got the people to unite as one and to follow him. And that's what black people need. We need a person with a team, not just one solo, a team of influential people. The people like the Will Smiths, the Oprah Winfreys, the J. Coles, the Kendricks, the Obamas. Black individuals with money, power, respect, and influence to really guide our people. And we need to identify those people so that we can follow them, so that we have one voice, one power that the Trumps and the system can come and talk to and try to figure out where black people are coming from. You feel what I'm saying? We need to identify the people, the leaders, the true leaders of our people to guide us in the direction so that we're not just out here doing random acts of protesting and doing random acts of looting just to show how we feel. We need a united front, someone like a Martin Luther King or a Malcolm X to guide us. You feel me? That's what we need. That's why I'm trying to tell you guys how I feel so that we can be better. And American people, this isn't just for black and brown people. This is everyone. This is why I brought my homie D-Fig, because he understands me. He feels me. He feels my pain. Because he can express to you guys the other American people that are not black and brown. And he can give you that information, and so that you have a different person trying to tell you, hey, let's come together. Let's truly unite under one banner, one word, one power that is able to create change. That is what I want. That is what I feel that we will be able to do. And I truly love you guys. And what I want to tell you, that the protesting and the looting is the right way, but it's not. Looting is wrong. You're doing a lot more harm than good. You're hurting people. People are out there risking their lives and getting hurt. The protesting is a necessity. And it is needed, but it needs to be under one word, under one power, under one person that is all of black people, all of for greatness, all of for our civilization to prosper. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm going to digress. I'm going to allow my homie to talk a little bit, but here's D-Fig.
Yeah, so just a little bit about myself. I want to make it really clear. I'm not just one of those like righteous white homies that's like, oh, just because I have black friends, like I feel you type thing. My mom is from Portugal, from Europe. They were born over there. I'm first generation American. We had our struggles, and this isn't to compare about lives, but like I have relatives. My mom came from a very large family, so I have mixed relatives. So I grew up in a multiracial, multi-religious home and family. And my half black relatives are the ones that I grew up closest to. So the thing where my love comes from is I grew up with blood relatives and black people that I loved. That's how I grew up. So for me, race was never an issue. I grew up, I had white family that I loved, and I had black family I loved. That's where I come from. And growing up, that's just the crowd I gravitated to, because those are the people I'm used to being around. So it's like I've always predominantly had more Spanish and black friends than anything else, and I've seen them being mistreated. My loved ones and my friends that have learned to become my family and vice versa. So that's where I come from. I'm not just on some like self-righteous kick like, oh yeah, I have, black friends, so that makes me cool. Like, no, I grew up with colored people to love, that loved me in return, and it was mutual. It came from nowhere, no malice, no nothing, no front. And growing up, as a child, I just didn't understand. I used to walk into grocery stores and my cousins would be followed and I wouldn't. And I'm like, what the hell? Because to me, my cousins, we were the same blood, same everything. And like, so that's what I've seen growing up. So I've seen it. I haven't personally experienced it to the same extent. I know I'm not a black man. I will never fully 100% understand what a black man goes through. I'm not going to portray that. I'm just saying I've seen it. I've grew up with black people I loved. And to me, it's, when I see it, I truly feel it to the extent where when I see black people being treated the way they are, it hurts me just the same, because that's my family, that's people. I love all people. It hurts me just the same. It disgusts me. It pisses me off. So, and I'm also a man that's self-aware that I can admit my own flaws and the flaws of my people, because I am white, and I'll gladly say it from our perspective as a white person's perspective, like where we have gone wrong. I'll gladly say that. And that's why I'm here. Like, I want to share that and express my love, so that way we can show that like all human beings have struggles, and we can unite like as a whole. Like the black community as a whole needs to unite within themselves. And there are white people and Spanish people and people outside the black community that want the same for everybody too. And we're just here to address those issues to hopefully shed the light from all perspectives.
I want to do that. That is my dream. That is my goal, because all I want to do is see my people do better, because all I've seen is them struggle. That shit hurts. It hurts every day. Growing up in the hood, seeing my people suffer, see it, having to heat up my water on the gas, on the stove, having to go through the things that I've gone through, and I'm half white. and seeing my dark-skinned homies go through way worse. You feel me? That shit hurts me so much. And it's so, I would say, there's so many of us, and it's so, I would say that it's so, it's just life for us. We accept it. It's our environment, so we're used to it, you know? But seeing that pain and that agony in my brother's eyes that grew up next to me because his brother died because he was trying to pay for his things, or trying to rob Peter to pay Paul, or seeing the black man grind and work and climb that ladder, climb that mountain, but never succeed. Those are the people that I'm fighting for. Those are the people that I want to do great. I live in the suburbs now. I live well. And every time I walk outside, it aggravates me because I don't see my people living as good as me. I don't see them at a higher clip. And that shows that there's a systemic problem with our nation, that there is a problem that is hidden, that underlying problem. Whether you want to blame it on ignorance, which I blame it on ignorance. I blame it on people not knowing their true history. I blame it on the system for providing the propaganda and the false narrative of whatever history. You have people out here believing lies, complete and utter lies. This is going to sound really bad, but reading the Bible growing up, when I read the Bible, the images of those people that came up in my brain, the people that came up in my brain, they were Caucasian people, they were white, but those people in the Bible were black and brown people. So my people, since they have adopted that religion, since they have learned it and watched it throughout the centuries, they were manipulated to believing that the most purest people that they've ever looked at, the most purest people that stories were written about, Jesus, Noah, John, Luke, all of those individuals were Caucasian. So when that white master came in with that nice tray of food for that hard work on the plantation that they brought in, they were thinking a white Jesus, not a black and brown person. And if you can't even put together how manipulated that it, like your brain was through those hundreds of years and into now, then I don't know what other examples to use for you. I don't know how to express my pain and anger and irritation with the system and how it's been treating us this entire time. My people have been dying and getting hurt for centuries, decades, and I feel it, and it hurts me, and I'm half white, you know? And I feel that I should be able to better express that for people of all colors to understand. I feel like I am that person. I feel like I can be that person. You feel me? I apologize for all my tears, because this shit just hurts me. You feel me?
It's real.
It really hurts me. But I really, truly loved you guys. But I think that for us to have that power, for us to unite as one, we need to identify that person and those people. It is a team effort. It is us. It's a team effort. Those great black and brown individuals, those great white homies, those Caucasian, those Asian, those Hispanic homies that love us, that really want us to be great, that want us to see success and gain the knowledge to be successful, to know how to operate businesses, to know how to keep the money in-house instead of outsourcing all of our money to other locations. I want us to move a lot more like Jewish people and have the level of love and honor and respect for our people like Chinamen do for their own, you know? But I'm sorry. I'll let my boy talk now. I've been going on for a minute.
No, you was in it. I was going to let you speak. This is your show. Like I said, like, for me being like a Caucasian man, like I said, like the struggle is not mine. I've seen it and I've witnessed it and I've been closer to it than most. So I can say I've been blessed and cursed to be part of a multiracial family. And I say the cursed part because sadly I did see the way, you know, my black friends and my black relatives were treated. And that shit sucks. And I've spoken to Austin about it too. Like, the biggest thing is about unity. If you look at anything throughout history, whether it was right or wrong, things became successful. The human race got to where it was today because anytime a movement took place is because there was a unified front and a direction. Because even if everybody has the same goal and purpose, but it is not with any specific direction, it's just organized chaos. And that's the main point that brought all this up. We're located in Northern California right now, and there was protests this past weekend in Sacramento, and there was local black-owned businesses within Sacramento that were just looted and destroyed, just like anything else. And it's like at the same time, like, yes, the protest and the looting, like, it raises awareness. It's like, damn, like, if you're gonna sit there,
but it doesn't do anything.
But it doesn't do anything to a certain extent, not for the greater purpose, in my opinion, for the greater purpose. And like, there was a quote that was posted on social media, I think it was by Diddy, and he said it's not just a race issue, it's a human rights issue. Human rights issue overall. And it's like, the purpose of the looting and rioting, we get it. Like, I use a quote that I say a lot: the road to hell was built on good intentions.
Yep.
And you can do a lot of things with the best of intentions in the world, but you have to legitimately look at if it's gonna be for the better good. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. And that's why the black community needs that individual, that messiah, whatever you want to call it, to help direct things in a positive way. And granted, like, I'll admit, like, I've seen a lot of things on social media, like, well, all we did was kneel, but you didn't listen then, so now we're gonna riot. I get that, and I completely respect that. But again, it's not what you do, how you do it. If you need a riot, do it, but don't bring down your own people at the same time. Like I said,
we are on another frequency. We are not trying to work with the system to change the system. We are trying to be the system and start it from the beginning. It has failed us trying to work in the system. It's blatantly obvious throughout the entirety of the system. Whenever we've input people in office, Congress, police, and black individuals being police officers within the policing system, they failed to change the system because the system isn't going to change unless we scrap it and redo it.
Nope.
There are a lot of old school ways that don't need to die off, but there's a whole lot more old school ways that need to be gone. There's a saying that old ways die hard, or is that what it is?
Something like that.
It's something like that. And I think that it's going to be very difficult. We're going to go through some trials and tribulations, but we are a great nation. We have so many educated, wonderful, great individuals, black and brown individuals that could lead us, educate us, and give us the information and tools that we need to be a prosperous nation. This sounds bad, but fuck the system. It has never worked for us. It has allowed us to grow to the level that it wants us to grow at. It has never let us just prosper. And my white homies, my white Caucasian friends that get it, that understand, I need you to be with me on this. I need y'all to feel me here, because throughout history, you can see it. It's blatantly obvious that the system has fought us on so many occasions for our growth. The war on drugs eradicated whole generations of information for us. It took away mothers, fathers, grandparents from their, and then the children suffered. So those children grew up to be ignorant individuals because they didn't have information given to them. They didn't have leaders. They didn't have people to teach them. And that's along with all the other acts of evil that have been done to my people throughout history. It has eradicated information and generational knowledge. You feel me? And that in itself makes it known that you can't trust it, that you could never be for it, that you can't work within it because it's never been for you.
Oh, sadly. In today's society, especially with social media and things like that, a lot of things stem from ignorance, because back in the day, in all forms of society and cultures, but mainly when it came to white men enslaving black men, or not just men, but men and women, a lot of it was just limiting their source of education and information, only showing them what they wanted them to see. That way they can manipulate and control them. In today's day and age, this is the best time. This is like nobody can see the future, but this is like the best era to influence the change that needs to finally happen. We have social media. Is it all accurate? No.
We have the coronavirus. People are inside on their phones. Spread this.
Educate
people.
Yourself and everybody else. Like, in terms of the rioting, again, like you saw what happened on the media with the police officers and how they're murdering black men. And it's like, okay, that should enrage you. And aside from, and no, it is, I'll admit, it is not the black community's sole responsibility to correct what the white man has
gonna love us
fucked
like
up.
we love us. It is what it is.
It is
Nobody's
true.
gonna love us like we love us.
No.
Nobody's gonna cry to you like I'm crying to you now. You know? It's not the same. It's not the same level of emotion. It's not gonna happen because they're not you. They're not your people. You know?
The point is to educate yourself. Aside from just rioting, let that be the spark of awareness. And again, it is not the black community's responsibility to fix what the white community has done. But if we truly need a unified front on all parts, so the black community needs to be unified within itself, and then the Spanish and white people that are about it need to be unified with you guys as well. Educate yourself. So there was an interview where a cop said, like, he admitted that, like, they do patrol more ethnic areas because they can cite more people or whatever. And their training is shit when it comes to dealing with those situations because, like, blatantly they just don't fucking care. So it's like, let's come together not just to fucking loot and riot, but let's come together. It's like, all right, if your training is bad, let's figure it out why. Let's have the black community reach out to law enforcement, the ones that we can actually try to influence and be like, so here's the issue. Here's statistics. Here's what happened. Instead of just preaching it, what's wrong with your training? Let's figure out how do we fix. And that's just one small step to the larger issue. We have to educate ourselves.
The initial step, though, is identifying a group of individuals that can lead us and be the voice for black people, and be the voice for equality and for our growth as a nation. The TIs that push for knowledge, the Obamas, all the influential people that love us, the Will Smiths that push positivity. Those are people that you want to assist in the guiding of your nation. They may not be the leader, but they can help bolster the leader. They can educate the leader. They can teach him to be a better person so that he can lead better. We need a humble leader. We need someone who is willing to learn and grow with us, but be that strong-willed, loving person to not allow any more bullshit to happen to us. We need that, separate from, we're going to work within the system. Martin Luther King wasn't a senator or a president, you know? And he led entire groups of people to greatness and a better life. We are in that time frame. We are in a time frame that we've never been in, that we could start this movement. But let's tag those great individuals. Let's tag those influencers so that we can push that narrative of, hey guys, let's actually identify a leader so we can actually go down the correct route and follow suit and be one word, one strong, powerful word, one strong, powerful people united. Black, brown, white, Asian, whoever.
And create a true
A
revolution.
true revolution. And that's what I want. Because I want my people living fucking good. I want my people to live good. I want my people to be out here not worrying about watching their back and worrying about when they get pulled over, when the lights come on, those fucking blue and red lights, that they're going to have extra problems. That they're going to for sure write a ticket, or for sure search my car, or for sure throw me in jail for nothing when I'm already struggling. You know it. You see it. I'm not living good like you. But you're trying to knock me down. And I'm speaking from the people who are already struggling, because I've gotten out of there. And it's only what is aggravating is as I've gotten better and as I've gotten more money and as I've gotten into the suburbs, the more I've noticed that I just want my people out here living good too. And I don't understand why other wealthy homies and other homies of influence, money, and power don't feel the same and aren't fighting for the same things. Fight with me, brother. Like, legitimately. I'm not talking about fight with me. I'm talking about fight the correct way, the business way, the logical, common sense way to really make fucking change. And that's what I'm on. I appreciate you guys for listening. I appreciate all of you guys for if you commented or tagged someone. I appreciate it all, because all it is to a benefit for our own. That is it. Let's be a benefit to our own. Let's be a benefit for us instead of be a benefit for the system that is only for itself.
And I have to say as well, like, I feel like I didn't say enough. I'm not trying to speak or tell anybody what to do, but specifically when it comes to the white community, Ignorance is no longer an excuse.
It's not.
I don't care if you never grew up around black people, depending on whether you grew up in the Midwest. We grew up in the age of information now. Everything's accessible. You're exposed to culture everywhere. Now, I get it. You don't get to pick your parents. For all of you who might have grown up with some racist ass parents and that's what they try to teach you, that sucks. I'm sorry, but once you become an adult, you make your own choices. Like, at least just fucking take the time, excuse my language, to just understand that we're just people. Everybody's just people.
People don't cry for no reason.
People don't cry for no reason. I saw a video the other day on the internet. It was a white woman. She was preaching and she asked everybody in the crowd. It was a predominantly all white crowd. And she was like, how many of y'all would love to be treated like black people do? Stand up. Nobody stood up. That shows there's a blatant awareness, even if you never have been around or grew up around black people, that you know something's going on. You know. Learn. White people themselves. Educate yourselves. Don't just argue back. Don't try to defend yourself because you're self-conscious and you have insecurities. Learn those. The most important conversations anybody in life can have is in the mirror.
Yep.
And realize what's going on, because if you look at any type of revolutionary change as the human race, what could we achieve if we all were together finally? Finally.
Like really under a united front.
Truly understand. Make the effort. Care. Like the world is just about love.
Put all your pride, your egos away, and know that people want to be better and people want to do better and want a great life. People don't want to struggle. People don't want to live in poverty. People don't want to be hurt. I'm going to leave on this note. Know that the system is created to protect itself. Know that there are the news agencies. There are anarchists that are starting the looting, that are starting the rioting, that are not part of the peaceful protests. Know that the news stations are more focused on the negatives than the positives. And when we are able to be united under one front, we'll be able to peep game and understand and see that more vividly. Because we'll be the ones pushing the information. We'll be following a leader. And we'll know not to do the things that we shouldn't be doing. Because we're under one nation, one word, one power.
One more note before we leave. And this pisses me off more than anything else, especially when it comes to white people. Whenever an issue arises, clearly when it comes to society or race, a lot of white people want to have a rebuttal to the essence like, black men are being murdered by cops. And then it's like, oh, well, just as many white dudes are being murdered by cops too. You're automatically negating that. It's not about whether they are or aren't. It's not about the equality of injustice. It's the fact that it's still an issue. So regardless if just as many white dudes are or are not being murdered by cops because there's a bigger population of white people, you're completely negating the initial issue. So you know what? Just like it's an issue not just of race, of human rights, don't rebuttal with that. Address the same issue and be like, you know what? White dudes are also being murdered too, but this is very more apparent. We need to handle this issue as a whole together. Don't just present that fact to negate what's happening. And for everybody out there who might not understand, I'll explain it to you in a simpler manner. If you have kids, you got two kids, one of them does something wrong, and you clearly pointing it out, or their sibling points it out, and then they're like, oh, but so-and-so also did this, and then they try to point it out that their other sibling did this. Does it really matter that the initial issue that happened? No. It's like you're just trying to create a distraction. You're trying to make yourself feel better because of the insecurity, like I stated before. And this is where that education comes in. So if somebody comes up to you and be like, oh, did you hear that issue? Like, well, white people also, that's irrelevant. It's still an issue. And as a community, as a whole, from all races and points of society, then you should be like, you know what, you're right. Let's work together to fix this. And then that will identify even bigger issues. And then we can address it on all fronts.
Yep.
This shit pisses me off beyond a reason.
Do not.
I have relatives that do that, and I check them.
And that's what you do. As the white homie that you are, the guy that loves us. That's what you're supposed to do. That's the kind of guys that we want in our corner.
And the hardest thing, and I'll admit, just from like, I'm not a psychologist. I self-study psychology because I like to understand people's minds and where they come from. A lot of that comes from fear and insecurity. And it's very difficult to look at things unbiasedly and to completely eliminate your emotions. But if you can sometimes just take a step back, set your emotions aside, and logically and through humility and love, look at what's going on, you will be able to see the issues at hand, whether you can relate to them or not, and then just do something about it. And today's day and age, I get you want to protect your own. There's fear of losing your home, your money, and everything. But you don't necessarily have to be out on the streets rioting to put yourself in danger.
You don't.
I don't know everyone's personal lives. You might have kids, you might not. Who knows? Like, you might have a job that you don't want to lose. But all you have to do, like, in today's informational age, we all have phones. Just say a word. Spread the word. Tag your friends. Hopefully, they'll tag their friends and their friends and their friends and their friends. Awareness is the best way to combat ignorance.
Yep.
And then once ignorance is set aside, and hopefully through awareness, that education comes to light, and then a just cause can be presented, and hopefully action can take place for a better future.
Ignorance is the sole reason why the system has profited, because we are an ignorant nation. We are ignorant people. We have followed propaganda and what they've been pushing to us this entire time. And once we are united under one banner, one word, that person and those team of people can educate the masses. They can push information for the masses to dive into and to learn. You know, that is away from the lies and the deceit. That's really it.
Yeah, on that level.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
No, I love you, brother.
Love you too, man.